Morning all.
Good morning.
Good morning. That was a nice, cheerful, breezy, good morning. Good stuff.
You've got to have that attitude in this market conditions.
I couldn't put it better myself. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm afraid to say I've been doing it for a while, and I think it's innate my personality. It's not my fault. You can't control the markets. When it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, in my opinion, it does get me down. When it goes in my favor, I'm very cock-a-hoot.
Morning, everyone. Sorry I got disconnected yesterday morning. I had a long load shedding.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I hear you on Dealey. I don't know what your finances are like, but it might be worth investing in a router. You know, it's about 30 rand a month for the router, and you can get a sort of like a 10 gigs a month, 5 gigs, 20 gigs, or whatever. It's only costing me, well, I think it's what, 280, 250 for a 50 gigs. Really more than I need because I got the fiber. But you don't have to have all that. But if you're going to be doing this, the last thing you want to be kicked out. You can't do the trading room. You can't monitor your trades. It's, you know what I mean? It's going to really frustrate you. So it might be worth having a look at. At least you got that backup. You know what I'm saying? Or you go to Starbucks, yep. McDonald's. A pity the keg doesn't have it, Marnie. Have a look at the nearest keg. See what awesome Wi-Fi they've got there. So if you have a few beers there, you might start putting wrong trades in by you. Oh, that's how I do this. But it's a good point.
I do have a router, so it's the Vodafone one that I'm using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you're having a problem then, because it should be in battery. You should have it charged. When you get load shedding, you have it on anyway. So foldable router, load shedding or not, as long as you keep the battery topped up.
Yeah, because suddenly last year I didn't have a problem with it disconnecting, but I think maybe it's the location.
There's load shedding. I think it's location. But remember, I think that maybe, I don't know how it works. Maybe they've got a bit of time to swap when they get load shedding kicks in. When they swap it over, I don't know. On the fiber, I have no delay. And then if I do have any hiccups from that, or I have to leave my workstation, at least I put that in my back pocket, the router in my back pocket, and I've just got my phone, everything there handy. But anyway, whatever. But yeah, that might be it. There's not much you can do about that then, really, so that's fair enough. Good answer. Okay, oh, well, then maybe Starbucks will do if you got one hand. But then it's going to cost you money sitting and coffee all day, and you start getting too much energy. Maybe get caffeine free, I don't know. Anyway, morning, it's 4 o'clock. Is it 9:30? Okay, right, we've got a few trades out, so we'll start off with those. I'll post them to you guys. You should have received them all right. But there we go, AUD JPY, it sells at 75. It's now at 70, well, 74, 73 area. So it's still there if you want to take that. You should have all the details there at hand. So you got the risk with micro. You can work that out for your position sizing. Stop loss TP and everything else is there. So if you like it there, what we go through more that you can do. Now you probably clearly see, because the guy's been the trading for a few times, he's thinking behind it. The JPY is getting a bit of strength from the weaker dollar, or I think but we'll come back to the dollar in a minute. AUD and the New Zealand dollar are quite risk currencies. They depend a lot outside areas other than themselves, a bit like South Africa, actually, a lot of other areas other than themselves. They're dependent on this global village we live in. But the point taken on a technical basis, backing it out, I see a weaker AUD than the JPY without even looking at the chart. If you look at the chart, it's backed up. Why it's attacked the 50, it has held, and it's nicely the top end of the sell zone, and hence the idea is then we might get some downside. So if you like that kind of theory and you want to do it, as long as you get your volumes right, there you are. If you don't, don't. It's your choice. Just remember, guys, keep enough free margin. If you have got a small amount in your account, you can't take all 4 trades. You just can't do it. You've got to make sure you've got enough free margin. Otherwise, you're going to get margin call. We had a guy coming up. I'm not kidding. I won't mention the names. It won't be on here. Kicked up like hell because we're manipulating the market. I'm not kidding you. This guy, he's got 20 rand as account. You want a micro? We left him only a few rand. You can get him on one micro at 20 bucks because the margin is so low because it's a micro on the Nasdaq. I left him only a 4 or 5 rand free margin, and of course he was margin called, but it moved around because it's a volatile instrument. Oh, you tell me. I've been trading for years. He said, well, you know, I know better. You're manipulating ever. Personally speaking, if I've said I've been trading for several years, guys, and I had account size of 20 rand, would you not start questioning my integrity as an experienced top trader? You get my point? So first of all, that was not a clever thing to say. And number two, if you've been an experienced trader, you know what margin call, you don't know what free margin is and that sort of thing. Again, the credibility is a bit shot. So anyway, so it's just not much you can do about that. But anyway, the bottom line is, yeah, just make sure you get enough free margin. You have to pick. If you can't do all 4, and you like them all, you got to pick. You unfortunately might pick the wrong one. They might all come out, I don't know, but just bear that in mind. No, Durkee, it's an eye opener since I've been here. I saw a guy once. I'm not quite serious on there. Who actually loaded? This is the record we got with 1 rand. He loaded 1 rand into his trading account. That's the record. I've traveled all over the world, and I have to say, this is the first I've ever seen something like that. But yeah, 20 bucks. I had one guy kicking up. It's been changed now. I don't agree with this anyway. They used to put out the micro. You can open an account with 50 rand, like, and now it's maybe 100 rand. But even that, I don't like to encourage it because it gets the people basically with very little education think they make a lot of money with the price of a hamburger. And they're going to get disillusioned. You know what I mean? There's a bit more to it, as you can probably find out. The guys are sitting here. The bank fees alone. I mean, you know, it's just the problem is a lot of guys out there. It's trying to get the IT business 100 years ago. What's that? You know, it's like having 100 years ago explain to an IT to somebody. You know, go back in time, explain IT to somebody 100 years ago. And even the basic, what I think, utter common sense part seems to be not quite got, and it is quite interesting, should we say that? Quite frustrating as well, because often those people are the most antagonistic. You know, the listening less, catching on less, and antagonistic. You try to explain, they're not grasping the concept, most basic areas. So your question, if they can't grasp that kind of basic concept, how are we going to go into more complex areas of this particular market? Anyway, so be it. Needs to say that's why I have a certain rule. I can only help you have a certain balance. If I get tangled up to very time consuming, trying to teach those who are unteachable, to be honest. Yeah. In fact, before we get to trades, it worries me. I subscribed to Business Day as an article came out that South Africa now, for the literacy at school and the numerical literacy at school, is one of, if not the lowest in the world. You know what I mean? The world. It's in other words, people are coming out as teenagers. A lot of them can barely read or write, and certainly can't even do basic sums in their head. You know what I mean? Not understanding that. And it's, well, how on earth can you progress on that? So it is, and they say they've got to start checking that side up. I mean, Zimbabwe, on the other hand, is one of the higher ones. And so that basic education is vital. Yeah, vital. But you say, Mark Banton, please won't do it. 1 rand, yeah, that's the record. Somebody actually made a deposit of 1 rand. It'd be nasty, yeah, but it was when the office Zoom meeting, and we had a bit of a giggle on that one. You're finally here now because you just sent me an email. I don't know why you sent me an email.
Okay, morning all. Roger, I've just resend it because it bumped back. I did put it as .com firstly, I think. So I wasn't too sure what is your email address. That's what I asked for. But thank you. If you got it.
Mine's a .co.za. Yeah, it's quite easy. Roger without the D, ROGR@quicktrade.co.za. That's easy. Okay, I'll look at it just now. Anyway, I've just quickly, see if we can go into more detail afterwards.
It's for your knowledge.
Okay, right, talk about that. We'll look at the banking stuff in a minute, which you sent. Thanks very much. I was fast asleep when you sent it, so I just replied thanks this morning. Sun was up nice and late. Well done. I'm afraid I was snoring by then.
I understand. That's why I need to respect the addressing you as Oom. Oh.
But I'll tell you one thing about being I tend to be an early riser, so I'm usually up about 5:30, something like that. So early bed, early to rise makes you unhealthy, poor, and stupid. Not healthy, wealthy, and wise, eh? Okay, anyway, so AUD/JPY, I'll just go through them quickly. You should have all got them anyway, because as soon as Ajat's pretty good, actually. He puts it together after get the signal, and then he bungs it back on the trading support group we've got, not your group, our group, and then I can then copy and paste it out to you guys. So we're on it very quickly. Nothing worse than missing a bloody trade. It's, by the time it's got to you guys, it's shipped sale sort of thing. Sometimes I have to say you do get a better price that happens. That's not for you. Okay, this one's also a sell. 9770, slightly better price. So if you joined it, obviously hang on, you just joined it. If you haven't joined it and you do like it, go in at market. Whatever you do, go in at market. You're getting a better price. Okay. Don't forget, well, I mentioned that before. Maybe we should put it on, but a lot of people don't understand that either. Say go in at so-and-so or better. What's or better mean? I gasp. What do you think it bloody means, sort of thing? A better price, do you know what I mean? Bloody hell. But I'd like to have that on, because I mean the guys are putting sell stops in to get a worse price, because they're just basically lack of knowledge. Okay, but if it's a better price, it clearly is. If we went out at 70, it's now 74. 4 pips better price, not much, but it's there. So you go in and go in at market. Okay, if you like it. So there you are. I should all have those details. You can see clearly why it isn't a neutral zone, the D. But it's gone right up the highs there. This seems to be holding, so we thought get some more downside. Why it's selling it? Because the dollar's a bit weak, but I think the dollar's been overcooked. That's why I thought it wasn't a bad idea, and we got a bit of support in it. I think 100's going to hold. It's bumped up a little bit from 100.8, and it's had such a massive down. We might get a bit of recovery on it. Aussie's a little bit iffy at the moment, so we might get some more downside on there. If you like it, that's fair enough. That's the one for you. Another one was the NZD CAD. That one was, what's that now? 84 on the dot. 84 on the dot, NZD CAD. I don't say it's not, it's 83.90.99. It's like saying it's 9.99. That's $10 more. NZD CAD. Yeah, it's about 1 pip above. So if you like that one, 1 pip above, you can go for it. That's slightly better price. That ship clearly had to sell. So if you haven't got it, you've got time to put it in. No panic, a bit quiet on that. Euro GBP was a buy, 88.31. Yeah, so it's getting on the buy. It's actually 5 pips higher. 5 pips is not a panic job, so I think we can go for it. It is slightly a worse price, but the ship hasn't sailed. But if you want to do it, there you are. You can still go to market. Okay, go to market all 4 of them, if you like it, and you got enough free margin. And you haven't. Mark's one of these IT billionaires. He's got plenty of money, and he's very philanthropic, so you can go and send begging letters to him. Actually, talking about begging letters, did you hear about myself? They asked me when I won the lottery the other day, 50 million rand. They asked me what I was going to do about begging letters. Do you know what I answered? I said I was going to keep on sending them.
Morning, Raj. Morning, everybody.
Morning. Go for it.
How do I remove my position size calculator from my chart?
Where do you get it from? Where do you get it from? Vital, you must get it. It's quite simple. All you do is not for a phone. You got to find something in the app store for that. But for your computer, laptop, whatever. All you do is you go to the live chat on the Quick Trade Stock Market Causal portal. You'll see at the bottom right-hand corner there. Click on that and go to technical support, and they'll download it into your navigator. There's a navigator, and you got it handy there. Simple as that. We're here to help as long as you interact. Thank you, Jacob. Hope that's all clear. All clear, Jacob? Probably gone to the live chat to sort it. Okay, that's fine. I mean,
All
obviously,
clear, Roger, all clear. Thank you very much.
fantastic, Jacob. Obviously, when the signal, they give the 1, 2, 3, 4 micro options there. But sometimes you need to know, because you need to know yourself. As you learn the trade, we try to get everyone to think and learn and interact and come up with our own ideas. No, we're trying to teach you how to fish, not fishing for you, sort of thing. And also, you might say, right, is it worth chasing or not? That's when you're in the position. I like the trade, but instead of getting it, so let's say it's a buy, or is a buy, I should put it, not yet. And the price now is, let's say, 88.40. Then go to calculator and just check to see, is it still worth chasing? You can still work out the risk on the new price. It's not just blindly going in. And that's the point. Yeah, what Mark say, lost all connection. That's why he hadn't replied to your begging letters. But don't worry about that. He's a very patient guy. Stick with it, and he'll help you out. Don't come with this lost connection excuse. We're in the IT business, Mark. You're not fooling us. I'm going to get a poison pen letter from him just now. Okay, right, so there we are, those four. Let's do a quick recap. Someone's posted on here. What was on WhatsApp? I think somebody said they're doing all right. I forget. Anyway, well, goes back. Finally, you're there now. You're in the gold. You got back in again at 35. Did you get out again, or do you held on, or what? So you went up to about 46, 47. Clearly aiming higher, but it's still hovering. Yeah, so you were in a bit of better profit. You're in a slight profit now, if you got it right. I don't know if you took your profit, I didn't check. I've got too many guys, it's up to you. Are you still in gold, or do you get out of it?
No, I'm still in gold. I want to ride it up to 2090. See if we can surpass the previous high of 2078.
Okay, all right, that's not a problem there, because believe me, if you're getting to 2070 or whatever, almost certain you know enough to modify your stops. If it doesn't get there, you'll still be okay.
Mate. I got stopped out with quite some profit, but I do wanna get a better price and get back to 2090, like he says, or 270.
Yeah, here I agree, etc. But see what he says, you got stopped out with a good profit. Most people assume getting stopped out is a loss. Far from it. Far, far from it. After a while, when you're trading, you probably find 90% of the time you're stopped out, whether it be a loss or a profit. Sometimes you forget to modify your TP and it hits your TP. But in theory, you should be hitting your TP. You should be modifying till you're stopped out anyway. That's the idea. Well, come back to 2000. Some people won't be very happy because they won't have their stops if they enter right about this level at 2000. It's too far away. If it comes back to 2000, don't suddenly jump in again. We'll look at the whole situation. It could be completely changed. Powell might have come up and said, no more interest rates. We're going to start decreasing. Then you'll see gold flying off. But just say 2000 will buy it. We'll look, if it comes about that far, there's an issue somewhere. We'll have a serious look at it before we jump in. Get the idea? No, I don't think so, Mark. The only thing that's going to make it come back to 2000 is if something on the fundamental front shifts it. Right, Marnie. Sorry about that, Mark. I wish I could make up a nice story of what you want to hear, but I'm not going to do that. Say what I think. And I say the only thing that's going to shift it back 2000, in my opinion, is a complete change of track. Maybe some figures came out on the Fed we don't know about, and on the FOMC meeting, is it early May, turns around and says, look, we've got enough figures, we're in control, we don't need more bank failures, we will not be increasing interest rates in May, and we might even look in maybe decreasing. I do not think that's going to happen, but if it does, Gold will fall, absolutely. But that's an unknown, and don't bank on a totally unlikely unknown on top of it. Let's say it's like buying a lottery ticket. You might win, but might lose your $10. Okay, where do you want to make trade stop? That's impossible to say. It depends on the volatility of the instrument. You need a wider trading stop on the indices because they're far more volatile. You get quieter ones that say, I don't know, euro dollar, or I don't know, bad example, it's been quite volatile lately. It depends on the volatility of the instrument. I personally think when you enter, I don't like a stop loss closer than 50 personally, unless you're a very short-term scalper in front. You've been doing it for a while. That's step 3, 4 down the line, not when you're starting off. You're on it, you understand, you specialize in 3 or 4 of them, and you're in front of them, you know all the idiosyncrasies, and then you get a feel for it. You know what you're doing, you've been doing it, you know, that's different. But otherwise, I don't like any closer than 50 on entering, and normally around about the 70, 80 mark, sometimes 100. That's normal. And then on the NAS, I'm not talking about the momentum strategy trade, we're talking about the normal ones here. And the NAS, I don't like anything closer than 200 and maybe 250, 300 on the Dow, that sort of thing. Depending where the situation is, you've got to look. Sometimes you have a 300 pip stop on the NAS, depending where when you look at the chart. But I won't go into Nasdaq trade with a 200 pip, with less than 200 pip stop. That's why I say if you don't have $5 above, don't do it. Not because you can't. Of course you can, but you're going to have very tight stops. You're going to get margin call, or you're going to be horrendously overexposed. Remember, 200 pip stop is on a 0.01. The normal one is in the region of 350 odd rand. That's your risk. And you say, well, I've got 1,000. Why can't I do it? Do you want to risk 35% in one instrument? Not cool. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Go for it.
I noticed by AUD/JPY, the stop loss number is 90.61.154. And the TP, the take profit is 88.2060. Is there a mistake on the stop loss?
No, we're selling it. The stop loss will be above, the TP will be below. I don't use the last decimal point. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I'm after pips, not points. And the pips, the points confuse people. So the actual stop loss is at where 90.61. Why have I put it there? Going back to what Manu is saying, it's not a thumbs up. I want it above this guy and I want it above this guy here. So it's going to stop me out. And the stop is not that far away. It's a little bit further away now because it's coming off, which we want it to do. So you probably won't get a risk reward. If you're not, you've got to look at this one, Dilly. I think you find it's too late to chase if you're not in already. But,
no, I'm not in.
Say again?
I'm not in at the moment.
Okay, don't chase it now. You missed it. Okay. That ship sailed. You've got to look at it. And that's why you've got to check on that. Let's get 2 seconds on this. Check it on that. We'll use the same stop loss as the signal. We're going short. Make sure you put that in. And it was what? It was 90.61. And then 88.21. I don't worry about the points. I'm after pips. Remember that? So I'm just showing you that. It's 1.37. It's below 1.5. So your risk reward is not good. And it's not the signal price. The signal said 117 per micro. It's now nearly 140 rand a micro. And your TP now has just dropped down to 190. If it gets there from whatever it was before, I didn't write it down. But you get the point. See, that's the one way of having a position size calculator, is check. Is it worth chasing? When it's below 1.5, it's not worth chasing. That ship has sailed. Simple as that. You got that? You got it. Good. So going back to Marnie again, have you got that? Depends the situation, but absolute minimum 50s. I prefer slightly better than that. The only time I would change the trading stop to a tighter one when you're nicely in profit and it's starting to get near the highs. So let's say you're buying this and you're aiming up here and your TP is here and it's already doing up this sort of level here. You might think, hang on a minute, we might get some noise here, but I want to stay on board. I'm going to move my TP up here, but I'm going to change my stop loss from 80 trading. I might make it 25 trading. So again, if it comes off, I'll stop that. If it doesn't, I'm still on board. I might even bank a couple micros or minis or whatever size you got there, and ride it up till you eventually stopped out. But on entering, I prefer a wider stop. And normally it's a hell of a, not NAS, it's different, I thought currencies. Normally I don't modify to entry till I'm a minimum 30, preferably at least 40 pips in profit, depending on how I feel at the time. Nothing's 100%. Right down 39.1, I move it. Nothing quite as precise as that. This is an art more than a science, you know what I mean? So I usually get up to entry or just a little bit better than entry cover costs when about 35, 40, 34, depending on my feeling on it. However, bear in mind, you're in the US dollar, I don't know, whatever it is, US dollar trade, and suddenly you realize an important fundamental coming out in 20 minutes and you're a nice profit, but you're only in 20 pip profit. I might then move my stop loss to entry, just in case that funding goes badly, then at least I don't lose. All right, irritates me, it might bounce me out and then shoot in the right direction, not on board, but just to play safe, I might just change it, even if it's only 20 pips away, to break even, just in case that funding nails me. Okay, hope that's clear. Okay, I'll come to the goal in a minute. Hope that's all clear. If not, please ask. I don't worry too much average 2 range indicators or the average daily range indicators or anything like that. They're lagging the price action. And often you find they're a bit slow to react. I prefer to see what's happening in front of me, where the support resistance is, and what the candle's doing. The candle's, quick check on it. You can come up with as many fancy names you like. If you're a nice, clever guy and you like to remember to show off in the pub, you know, a Mabarusa from a Morning Star, feel free, you know. But the basic point with all that is to actually see what the price action's doing. Does that make sense? If you can use the average 2 range and the we can do what the bloody hell you like, to be honest. But don't forget they're useful. We'll be there with a reason for it, but they are lagging. And some of the lagging can be a bit slow. I always use the example: you're standing and you're getting drenched because you're looking at the barometer, waiting to tell you it's raining before you put your raincoat on. Rather put the barometer down and look up at the skies. Oh, it's raining, and put your bloody thing on. You get the idea. Macintosh or raincoat on. Get the idea. But that's just me. But if you swear by it, other guys do. It's part of the training. You can have them, and it works for you. That's great. I'm happy for that. I'm not against it at all. I just note, like everything else, the limitation of it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, just adjust your stop loss because you can see the momentum with the parameters. You know, I mean, this has come down here now, and you're now maybe 50 pips in profit. Why would you leave your stop with an 80 pip loss in case something goes wrong? A bomb could go off. I don't think it go bloody wrong. You know what it's like. Then you're fed up. You turn the winner to loser. So it's 50 pips in profit. Maybe put it 10 pips from in your favor. So if something goes wrong, at least you made 10 pips profit. It's not much, but it's better than a bloody loss. You get the idea. This is equity management, protect yourself. And there are going to be times you're stopped out with 10, 20 pips profit, you've got to turn around and it's gone on and made 150 and hit the TP or whatever, you're not on board. That is irritating. I get that. But at the same time, it's even more irritating to be 50, 80 pips in profit and then get stopped out in 80 pips. So just bear that in mind. But again, I'm sorry before I go back to the golden stuff, very important. Too many people for the anxious staring at the screen. You only see mine at the moment. I don't know what's happened to mine. I can't see it just below the radar there because it just screws your mind. And then you start to take your profits far too early. And then you've got to make 10 wins to make up for the 1 loss because you hold on to your loss, you get stepped out. There's 100 pips stop on the trade. So you lose 100 pips and stopped out. That's a losing trade. You take 10 here, 15 there, 20 there, 5 there or whatever. You got to make maybe 7, 8, 9, 5 or 6 winning trades. It should be the other way around. In theory, if you make 2 losers and 3 winners, you should, in fact, the proper way is you make 2 winners and 2 losers, you should make a profit. Not if you make 9 winners and you make 1 loss and you break even, you're grabbing it. So give the trade a chance. You will get the up and down. You're going to get the noise. It's frustrating. Sorry going about it. It's frustrating because you're nicely in 15 pip profit on this trade. You need to quickly go out to pick and pay. You come back and now you're 10 pips down. Oh, no, panic job. Get out of the trade. No, that's the noise. You know, that's the noise. The only thing we can't, if there's nothing on your economic calendar and something comes up, is something gone out that you don't know about out there within the country or wherever, you can't follow it. It's impossible. That's just one of those things that you can't control. You know, I mean, it might be something happened in Japan 5 minutes ago in the middle of the bloody night you don't know about. Well, sorry, you didn't. That's why you protect. Okay. Yeah, there you are. It is the name of the game. It's purely an emotional exercise we've got to try and control. We're scared. Once we win, we start getting scared. And most people on the planet, I hate to say this, my friend, are used to losing. You know what I mean? So when they start winning, they panic. When's it going to be taken away from? When's that meal going to be taken away from? When's that? We all do that. So you grab it too quick. Lose. We usually lose. Yeah, well, hang on till it comes right. That is bad. I see it all the time. Try and get your head around that. Okay. Gold. I think not much chasing it now, but it might be all right. Well, jump in. I'm not sure I want to be chasing it here now. I'd rather be chasing a little bit better. We can look at it if you like. You have to go to the weekly. Maybe you have to go a little bit more. So you've got a target. If your target right about there, 2070. I suppose you can 2070 is your target. Let's make it a bit clearer now. Risk reward 2070. What's that from here? That's $40, $38. Have your stop down here. That's how much? That's 35. No, that's not going to work. If you put your stop down here, which is about correct, that is $30. You get it. So you won't get a risk reward. So you've got to use the 4-hour to get a risk reward, and then you're going to use it down here, maybe a little bit wider. Give yourself maybe just down here. Maybe you can use a $15 stop, and that will take you up to, that'll get you a risk reward if you want to enter now on the $4 one, on the 4-hour one, sorry. Anyone want to agree with Sephora on that one? Using the 4-hour to buy the market with a stop loss on the 4-hour and the TP back up to 2070 something. And you're not alone there, Peter, on that comment. Not alone. It's quite normal. I could certainly do that. I think it's a bit of a range trade at the moment. We might get a bit of a bounce on the dollar, which might bring it back. We might get a bit of pullback on gold. And it is in the 4-hour. It's only been moving the $7 range. If you want to be sending stuff out like that, Sephora, I'd rather you didn't stop about scalping. The scalper might aim for 7 with a tighter stop down there or something, but you can't tell your guys that. So I think not so keen. Rather get a better price. Sorry about that. Okay, a Euro NZD. If anyone disagrees, so we'll put the stuff up again, and you can take it from there if you want. But I'm not going to support going in now, to be honest. But they got enough anyway. They got 4 apps. So you can send those 4 if you want. Prep your support if you want. Okay. Look at ENG support. Oh, EJ. Cleared to buy. Yep. Not really getting going. But I buy the euro over the NZD, so I like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, no problem. I'll put it down. You can do that one. The journal there. URNZD. You're aware of what we're talking about there. Momentum, the EJ, whatever. 175.44. And the stop being 1.74. A standard 50, so that'll be 94 EP, and quite simply, you know, it's a standard 90 around a shot for the 0.01. Okay. Just remember, guys, please, anything we talk about, you're not too clear on. Talk about EJ principles or momentum strategies as opposed to the normal one. Opposed to the whatever, then just interact, ask. A lot of guys don't. They leave the trading room, don't come back again and turn around. One guy actually did call me up and said, I don't understand what's going on in the trading room, so I'll do my own thing. I don't understand all this medicine stuff, so I'll just go and say I'm a doctor and do my own thing. Hey? Yeah. I don't understand all this IT stuff you're trying to teach me, Mark, so I'm not going to bother with you. I'm just going to up my IT business. and be positive and pray on it and hope for the best. Wing it. Yeah. I know it's incredible. Eh? Well, it's not incredible. It's just, again, don't want to make the effort, but you want to make the return. I don't want to go and practice the piano, but I want to play like what do you call it, Beethoven or whatever. Then you have to fix the bigger mess. Well, it comes back to us, exactly the same principle. Then it comes back to us, and of course now they're not listening, they're all upset, they're emotional, and they don't want the boring old reality be put into them. Too good to be true. It usually bloody well is, unfortunately. Can't believe it. It's quite an eye-opener, Anne-Marie. Quite an eye-opener. Yeah, so yeah, that's that one. If you like that, Farney, and whoever understands the EJS, the momentum one. Yep, it's already a couple of pictures, properly speak. Your Dow Jones came right, don't you? You're still in it, Farney. Your Dow Jones came off nicely there in the end. CJ worked about all of them so far, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was nice. The Dow Jones, I've put a TP of 13,998 or something, and it did the TP when it breached last night. So I'm out. But I think I've done 170 pips on it.
Well, 170 pips on the EJ, we're looking at 150 a week. So that is just alone in a couple of days. That's achieved the week's goal. What a pleasure! If you get the indices right, you can do the whole week's target or goal in a day or so. What a pleasure!
Yeah,
nice
unfortunately, was on the micro. So yeah, but thanks.
So we're asking pips. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're talking pips here. Whether you're in a 1 micro or 1 standard lot on the normal one, you're still making the same amount of pips. You get the idea. Don't give me the rand value. Give me the pip value. That's what we're after. Because once you're confident and you can see maybe 3 months, 6 months, whatever you're comfortable with in your own mind, that you're averaging over that period. So you take 50 a week, that's 600 a month. Over 3 months, that's what, 180? Is it? That's 1,800, eh? 1,800 pips, 6 months, 3,600 pips. And you said that's your average. What a pleasure. You can divide into a monthly, even a weekly. Then you don't have to put in 1 micro. You can put 1 mini and go up from there. That's what we're after. That's the concept I'm trying to get across. Consistency on pips, not whether you made 10 rand or 100 rand, depending on your bank balance. That's not the point. It's the pips you're after. And I promise you guys, if you can say, I can only afford 1,000 rand, and you can see you consistently making that kind of money, you'll be astounded where you suddenly find another couple of grand from. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you a written bank guarantee that if you give me 50,000, next week I'll give you 100,000 rand return, backed up by government, guarantee. All the guys that haven't got 50 grand would be surprised how many suddenly find 70,000 rand. You get my point. So yeah, that's the thing. It's the consistency and confidence we're trying to ascertain.
I agree. Thank you all. Yeah, I'm still practicing, but I'm very satisfied so far with this momentum EJ trades. Excellent.
Thank you very much. You hear that backing? It's not just me talking. Good stuff. Not quite sure what you mean by Ashley's clock. Sound like a bit of an in-joke. To drop off, enjoy. Okay, Dirk, I understand. Enjoy your weekend as well, of course. Congratulations and all that, guys. Going back, I think I must have missed it. The problem is they don't have a page to disappear for it. They don't have a page to stay in the trade room or they not attend the trade room. That's it. Well, what happens? I'll tell you right now. They come in and they suddenly find, I don't quite understand that. Instead of saying, I'll stick around, take notes, interact, they go back out and then they start getting disillusioned, etc. It's like when you get married and you have a little bit of a disagreement and you get divorced. It's as simple as that. I think it's today's culture. The older guys would probably understand, agree with me. Everything's instant today. I remember when I was a kid, I had to sit fixated in front of a 5-day cricket match. Nowadays, everyone wants it done in a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? It's a completely different sort of attitude today. It's instant or forget it. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure the AAC file is actually. Remember, he's a youngster, Ashley. Talking about Ashley Mose, he's a youngster. So he'll be quite frank. I bet this, he'll be ahead of me on the intricacies and details of IT. They all do, all youngsters do. I often get a call, so I'm battling with this. And I said, mind me asking how old you are? The guy says 65, 70. I said, have you got any kids next door or in the house? Go and ask them. Okay. Your 15-year-old, they'll sort it out. Okay. Horn.AAC. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's fine. Let's look at the trades we got out already. AUD-NZD was a sell. This was yesterday, by the way. Where's my stuff here? 10782. That's in profit. That's 50, 32, 34 pips in profit. If you haven't already, you can modify your stop loss down to entry. Assume you got in at the signal price. If you didn't and you got in a much lower price, ignore that. Don't move your stop to entry. You've got a 1.0755. Don't have a 10 pip. Please, guys, don't put a. If I say get entry and you see a media entry is a bit late, it's only 10 pips away from market. Clearly, that doesn't apply to you. I'm talking if you got in the signal entry as sent at 82, that's clearly enough to modify to maybe a couple of pips below, so you covered yourself. Okay. Not sure about that. The EuroCAD was perfectly in profit and came off of it. Have a look at that now. So you can do that. EuroCAD then came back off again. Did very well, then came back off. What was the EuroCAD? That was a buy, wasn't it? 51. That's no loss at the moment, but it did very well. It got up to this level here. Running out. I thought that was rubbish. Sorry about that. Yesterday, it got up to the round figure of 48. Sometimes guys take profits around figure. A lot of TPs are there. Not here, but I mean worldwide. A lot of guys find, and I totally been pushing it. The round figure is an often area where TPs are because it's a psychological, nothing to do with practical rationality. It's a psychological area of support resistance. So that's when the guys often either take it. So if you took it at that level, way below the TP, you'd have been a nice profit. If you didn't, let's hope it bounces again. It's the bottom of the range. Having said that, guys, you might have enough free margin these signals getting out to you. If you are in it, obviously leave it. But if you missed it or anything like that, and you like the trade, you're getting in at 40 instead of 51. You're getting a better price. So you can take it. Same stop loss, same TP, you can take as a buy. Only if you're not in, and only if you've got enough free margin. Okay, the one sent out just now. We'll come to that again in a minute. I just want to go over these first. Okay, so it's about 15, what's it now? 34. We know we got on the buy, we get out, and so there's a slight spread there. So we got at 51 there. We've got to compare this number slightly down. But if you want to take it and you're not in, you've got enough free margin to take it. But that might come right. Okay, so we're nicely modified and sorted and risk-free now on the, unless some bomb goes off, we get no buyers or sellers. Always remember that. That's 100% risk-free. But bomb goes off, forget the stop loss, it will go through like a knife through butter. But that being as it may, GBP, CHF, always remember that, guys. A stop loss TP is putting out there to the world, I want to buy it or sell at that price. There's no buyers or sellers, forget it. My house is worth 10 million rand. Well, it's only worth 10 million rand when somebody agrees and gives you 10 million rand for it. Otherwise, it's in your head, remember that. Okay, this one clearly is doing okay. We've got in that one at 88. I got a bit worried about myself yesterday, Farney, when you got out at 1.1112 or something like that. And I said you stopped too tight. And I thought I was going to misinterpret it because it went up to 1140 earlier on this morning. And you're probably thinking, oh, bloody hell, Roger says it's too tight. But I did a favor to myself getting out. I want to clarify what I mean is, sometimes it does you a favor, and in the end, it stops you at a higher line and you make less profit. But no, what I'm saying is don't get your stop. If you want to put your stop 10 pips away from market, rather just take your profit. It's a pointless because it's like to stop you at anyway, and you make 10 pips less. You're up 80, now you're going to make 70. What's the point? If you can't keep a decent gap between the two to overcome the noise, just take the profit. But you've got to keep a bit of a separation. Anyway, it's come back to this area here, and clearly with a nice profit. I'm assuming the guys who took this trade have actually modified the stock But if you haven't, you can put it at, let's not get it too close. It's trying to break through. Is it going to bounce to 40? That's my worry. Make it 45. Okay, make your stop loss 1.1145. You've built in over 40 pips profit. What a pleasure. And if you can break the 1.11, hallelujah, off we go again, because the TP is wherever the TP is. It's not learned that, know that. Okay, hope we're all good on that one. So one is, both of them we can call them basically winning trades, and Euro CAD was a winner, slightly down, but it might be a third winner. So that's not too bad. We aim here on a realistic basis, 2 out of 3 over a period of time. You might get 3 winners, 5 winners. You might get 3 or 4 lose on the trot over a period of time. Be aware of guys saying we're going to give you 90% winners. It might happen for a period, but sustained, I'll be a little bit wary. If they've got something to prove it, well, okay, I'll take my hat off to them. But I haven't seen, and I've come across some pro traders. If you ask them, I mean, real pro traders, top guys, hedge fund, not met them, but heard of them, hedge fund guys, you know what I mean? And they say 90 on a prolonged basis, even they can't make it. So what that guy's doing, if the best people in the business, the most expensive equipment can't do it, I'm not too sure. I'd be somewhat suspicious of the, the correctness of that statement, but we'll see. But don't aim too high, don't overpromise and under-deliver, which too many people are doing. Rather aim at 2 to 3 over a period of time. At the moment, last week we're about 50-50 and slightly below that. Pity, pity, pity. Last couple of weeks, in fact. Now we're definitely ahead of the game. So we're making up the ratio much better. And now we're back up again near the 70% mark of winners, which is good. Okay, just so you know that. Right, let's go to the days. We've got out 4. AUD JPY with a sell at 89.75. All right. I got them all as quick as I could out to my group so they could see it and not miss the trade. So you should have got it round about the 75 mark. It didn't move that quickly, so it gave you time to have a look, have a check, do a little bit of looking into it before you just jump in. And then if you're happy with it, it gave you that breathing space. It wasn't moving like the Dow, you know what I mean? And it gave you a chance to get in round about that level. So clearly you're doing okay. You're in a profit, 20 pips or whatever it is. AUD USD, that's not much, at least it's something. It's actually probably break even. We got in at 70 there on the signal, but we're getting out on this one here because the sell is about break even. That's all right, this is break even. NZD CAD was an 84 sell. Yeah, it's not fair enough. It's Friday. It's not always going to shoot the lights out. Be patient. Life isn't always like a Formula One racing car or a bloody jet aircraft. But anyway, it's a slight profit. That's good enough. And EUR GBP 88.31. That's a bit of profit. That's okay. So it seem to be doing okay from break even to profits. That's good enough. So out of the 4 today and the 3 yesterday, 7 of them, we exclude the gold. We're talking about the ones we sent out. We exclude the EJ momentum principle. Those weren't sent out. The ones sent out, the 7, 6 okay, and 1 is a slightly down but might recover, the Euro CAD. We just keep our fingers crossed. That's not bloody bad, guys. If you got that all the time, I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot more smiles on the faces. And there'll be a lot more expensive single malts or Johnny Walker Blue Label being drunk as well.
And over the weekend, 2 additional pints.
And 2 additional pints, absolutely. Yeah, I don't fancy all this show off bloody Santander highfalutin malt stuff. Real beer for real men. Honest to goodness, real people. Yeah, a good black label beer. Who needs all this bloody whiskey, fancy wine stuff? Yeah. For a horse, Bri Place and Carling Black Label, and a good chat about the rugby and a pair of shorts around the Bri, while the ladies are in the kitchen, gossiping how awful the men in their lives are, making the salad. That's the ideal world, hey, Farley? That's how it was in the past. We've got to bring that back again, eh? Put the clock back.
I agree. The guys currently are basically start looking at Castle Light because of the calories. For us, it was still Black Label, Zama Zama.
Absolutely. I don't know about over here, probably, but certainly UK and America now. It's quite common to hear guys discussing their various fragrances, aftershaves. You know, I'm a so-and-so man, and they do that and they make sure they go for their grooming. And sorry, I can't catch you now because I need to go for my pedicure, my manicure. No, things are definitely changing. Yeah. And I tell you what, if you open the door for a woman today, they'll say, "Do you think I'm incapable, you bloody sexist?" Happened to me, actually. Happened to me. I'm trying to be polite and help open the door, you know, old-fashioned, you know. You tore my head off. You think I'm incapable of opening my own bloody door, you sodding sexist? I had another comment made to her as well. I said, "Hey, this was a few years ago, getting up." I said to her, "Hey, you look great." That's a sexist comment. They got me saying you look great all the bloody time just because I'm a woman. Somebody doesn't know where to go, do you? I have to say one safety fact. These days, I don't get many women saying how devilishly handsome you are, unfortunately. So I wouldn't mind being probably on that area. I haven't seen that so much lately, that's the thing. Okay, Mark, you're a typical bloody Cape Tony. Live in the southern suburbs, won't touch tassies, won't touch box wine, has to be somewhere from, I don't know, bin number 25 from Paarl, which he gets it off the vineyard himself, because he happens to know the owner. I know.
Mark, I think you need to relocate to Mossel Bay, then you'll have a balance between beer and wine.
I tell you what, if you're going to immigrate that part of the world, sorry to pick on Mossel Bay, rather go to Nysa. Nysa's. Nysa, Plett, George, Mossel Bay, give me Nysa anytime. Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be champagne if you can start doing well in the market, say. That's correct. Well, yeah, that's true. The women starting up for men, yeah. That's why I keep saying now. I've changed my tune now. I won't go out with a woman unless she drives a Porsche. No, forget it. And I expect to be taken out, you know. And I get very upset if a woman starts trying to get me in bed in the first night just because they bought me a meal and a couple of drinks. I tell them, no, I'm not that easy, you know. I've got hobbies. No, I want you to get to know me better. I've got feelings, you know. I tell them. Yeah. I think we're getting off the subject of trading here.
Worm.
Yeah, you do. You just, sometimes you feel this woman for your body. I mean, I've got hobbies, you know. I'm a person.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Anna-Marie, you must really celebrate with sparkling wine, the so-called, I forgot the name, Amabella or something. It's a new sparkling wine from KWV, which is excellent.
Okay. Can't say I've heard of it. I have to admit it there. I have to say I do like my beer. Don't mind wine actually, but occasional whiskey. But I'm still a bit sort of, I don't know, a bit sort of South African that way. I like my Brunavane and Coca-Cola and things like that. I'm afraid I'm a bit basic on those levels. JC LaRue, I've had that a few times. I'm not that fond of champagne. To me, it's a bit overrated. But maybe I haven't got the palate. I've had caviar. I can't stand what the fuss is about. I like oysters though, but caviar, champagne, I dislike it, but it doesn't exactly blow my head back. But anyway, 50th coming up next month, is it? Well, just remind us and send you a virtual congratulations. You see, that's old school. They stick together. They don't give up on the first argument. Nowadays, in 10 years, they've probably been married and divorced 3 times.
Really excellent. 50 years. Amazing. Well done, Anna-Marie.
Well bloody done. My parents are the same. They married just after the war, and when they died, they were still married, still arguing, disagreeing with each other, but that's normal. And throughout. And to tell you what, very old school. I joked to my father once, and I said to him, "Come on, Dad, you must have been a straight some of that time." And he said, absolutely not. I made a contract with your mother and I'm a standard person. I would not break that contract. Okay, fair enough. 60, no, they both died, I think, approaching that. Was it just after the war? Or, yeah, I think about 54 years of marriage, and they followed, unfortunately, fairly closely. When they're together that long, I don't frighten you guys, but when you're together that long, you lose one. Unfortunately, the other one doesn't last too well, too long after that. That's the trouble, you know, when you really need your companion later in life, you start losing, it's pretty, obviously, pretty devastating. And I don't think you see the funny side of it. I suggested it was about 80 going to dating bus. Don't you see the funny side of that? Wasn't the time to make it insensitive comments, you know. Not then, what's called it? Not dating, but what do you call those dating things now? Begins with L. No, not L. Tinder. Tinder. That's right. That's the famous one. But there are millions of these dating sites now, aren't there? And there's golf dating sites, you've got something in common, and I don't know, millions of them. In fact, I think people meet on the computer now, because I don't think they ever leave it. They don't chat to each other on the computer in the same room, on the WhatsApp or the Messenger or whatever. Anyway, moving along. Okay, so those are the trades we got out. The gold, I think it's going to hover a little bit. We've got on the economic front coming out now. Just give me up and running on here. I think it's 2:30. I think it's retail. Just check again. Retail sales coming out. That's a 3-star. Couple more with a 2-star. With the 3 stars coming out as 2 retail, it'll have a bit of an effect. It's not a CPI job. Don't panic, guys, but just be aware of it. Okay. I'll just copy and paste for you all, so you've all got it. Doesn't take long. I know most of you have, but just in case. Please, please, please benefit from having that. It is important. Because I've said at least 90% of the clients we have, their strategies are winging the prayer rather than anything more technical than that. I'm not sure the guy with 20 rands account, what kind of strategy he's got. That's interesting. Okay, a little bit of a bounce in the dollar. I'm seeing the dollar index. So we've got a bit of a bounce on that one. We can be a bit of sustained one, and then we might get something happening on the euro dollar one's doing it. Am I still in that? Not sure. Yep, still in it. Modified stock, protected on them. The others got, I was in a few others, but they got knocked out well, stopped out in the profit, to be honest. Don't do too bad lately. Okay, all right, so there we are. Just a couple of moments. We've got EUR NZD on the EJS. We all know about the momentum strategy. If you don't, I'll explain it. I'll keep a separate column of that because it's purely a trading room area, nothing to do with the guys out there. 75.44. Did anyone take it? Did you take it, Mark? You drew my attention to it. EUR NZD. Well, it's already a bit of a profit, about 8 pips profit. Anyone take that momentum one? EJS one, EJ strategy, EJS one. Anyone take it? You take it in the end, Mark or Farney, anybody? Anne-Marie? Bit of a profit at the moment. Yulan took it. Hey, Yulan, good start. No. Do you know what I'm talking about? Gerard did. Fantastic. Musa, do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the momentum strategy for the trading room? Do you know what I'm talking about? I think that's a bit of background there. Okay, if not enough margin, okay, fair. Okay.
Hey, mate.
Okay, Ken, go for it, Ken.
Can I still take this one?
On the one hand, it's a bit of resistance. I can't make a call, to be honest. Yes, in theory, it might get a better price in practice by coming back a couple of pips. But even it is only going to be about 7 pips. And 7 pips is 7 pips. I'm not sure. Not so sure, to be honest. 10 pips above, you might break through, not on board, you get frustrated. Too difficult to call. I'm just going to mute you. Just sorry, guys, whoever's in the background there. For me, it's too difficult to call. It's 12 pips above. Ugh, it's breaking above. I'll give you your due. I'm sorry. I'm gonna chicken out in that call, Ken. I'm gonna leave it in your capable hands whether we're chasing or not.
Say a break above will also do. I'll check the hourly close at 11.
I like the way you put it. Check the hourly flows 11 to break above. Good, well put. Yeah, happy with that. Sort of chicken out, yeah, but chicken anyway. Okay, thanks for that, Ken. Okay, come back to Musa and Mbuzo. Right. The reason why I didn't take to understand. Now, it's very important that you do interact and tell me this. I mean, Mbuzo, you saw Musa, you saw okay, platform or courage. I don't know. Please, you don't know when you start, and that's why we're trading for. So become from a non-know to a I do know, and that's why you ask. It's straightforward momentum, no more, no less, nothing more complicated. Let's pick one at random. Let's go CAD JPY for an example. You go to the daily, right? If you've got a pen and paper, write it down. If you're getting it without writing it down, all doing good. Right, you go to the daily and you ignore the black line. All you're worried about is the blue and the brown line, okay? Now, you want to know on the daily, is it above, excuse me, is it above or below? Clearly, it's in between, so you ignore it. So you go straight to another one. Go to CHF JPY. Is it above the blue and the brown line? Well, obviously it is. So you're looking to buy it. You then go immediately to the 1 hour and you ignore all these. You go to the red line. Is it above the red line? No, it isn't. You wait it out. Repeat. You go to, let's pick anything. We'll go down to the next one. What's the next one here? CAD CHF. Go to the daily. Start in alphabetical order. Start there, Aussie, and go down if you like. This is going to be a sell. It's below them. You see, it's below the brown and the blue. So we want to be selling it. Have we got a sell to enter? Is it below the red? No, it isn't. Although you might want to cheat if you want, because it's right up against this particular line here. So if you want, you could probably take a sell on that. But in theory, if the blue line's right out of the way, on the 1 hour, that is, it's below that, you can take it. Now, the problem is, it's below the red line and it's a sell and it's down here somewhere. You're a bit late on it. So again, like most things, guys, use a bit of bloody common sense. You don't want to be chasing it. I'll give you an example. Let's say it was here. You don't want to be chasing it here because it's too far below. You want to be getting in around about these levels here, just below that. Not here, that's missed it. And if you went in there, you'd have seen your ass, if you don't mind me using that expression, your financial ass, should I say. You look at it bounced up. So what you need to do is you need to below there, kind of cheat a bit. This seems to be holding you can. This is not a bad sell. It's not strictly within the rules, it's not below the red, but that's a sell on this one, on the EJS one. The sell on the daily, and it's below in theory on the red, it's hovering around the red. This is a good example for a sell. Now, what we then do is you don't worry about TPs. Ignore the TP, and you put in a 50 pip stop, not for the indices, only for currencies. Okay, we haven't done gold yet, so leave that out. We'll work on gold later. Okay, so for currencies, 50 pips. It's a standard 90 rand or equivalent in dollars per 0.01 or micron. And that's where your stop loss is. You can even put a trading stop if you want. Right. Now, as it comes down, not worry about TPs, you're going to ride it down as long as it stays below the red. So you got in here and it's staying below the red, the red. If you've modified your stop and you stopped out here, fair enough. If you haven't modified, you stop. Let's say your stop is still up here and it pops its head above the red, you can then get out of it. Okay, so you short this now for argument's sake. The stop is 50 pips away, which is going to be right up here. Remember, so 50, sorry, it's a 1 hour, and that's why it looks like a long way away. It's not a day, it's a 1 hour time frame. The stop is there. Happy with that? Let's say this decides to pop up and the entire candle now, including the wick, is above the red line. You can then exit. All right, you've lost 10, 12, 8, 9, I don't know, whatever pips. Maybe 15, 20, I don't know, not 50, but that's the way it goes. But that's only 20. But you find then you ride it. You can write it down. Here's one. you'd be riding it down. You're riding it down. You're riding it down. Your 50 is still up here somewhere. If you got in here, right, 50 would be, well, turn off the top of my head, I should just tell you what I'm talking about here. Hope you're with me on this. Use a bit of maths here. Where are we? Up here, that's right. So it was, call it 0.67. So it's 0.6750 as you stop. Down here, in fact, down here, it would be 0.67 roundabout as you stop. As it goes up, you're still in, you're still in, you're still in, and it pops above there. Never mind your stop is up here somewhere. It's actually probably at your stop. Let's say your stop modified from up there to down here as you stop, but it's above the line now. You would exit, okay? So you'd exit, even though your stop's still up there on the trading basis, it's above the red line, that's a 10-hour moving average. All right, you got out there, mate. You got out, as you opened up there, you got out, and you'd still made this profit, which had been 28 pips. Okay. All good? If you don't want to do it on your own, do the trading room, you just get a thumbs up from myself or the others if you like. If you're not confident enough to do it outside the trading room, but there you are. So I see the CAD CHF as one which we can do. I think I'm still in that one actually. So I'm not going to do it. I'm still in it. I forgot what I'm in now. Yeah, I'm still in the thing anyway, so I'm going to leave it. I'm modified, so I'm protected there. Okay, so if you want to do the CAD CHF on this principle, we can. Anybody got enough margin? Make sure you've got enough margin. Principle number one, do not get margin call because you haven't got enough free margin. Either put more money in or don't do the sodding trade, but do not get margin call. Okay, remember the margin is the collateral for lending you the balance. We are on derivatives, which means you put a deposit down, margin, and the rest is lent to you, hence the swap fees. That's the interest on the loan money. So don't get margin calls. Okay, keep enough free margin to the ups and downs, the noise of the market movements. Okay, so that one you can do if you like. Oh, I agree with you, Marnie. It was all my idea. It wasn't Mr. EJ's at all. No, he came up with suggestions, something like it. And I will take a bit of pat on the back. I sort of structured a little bit, sort of more on it. So he gave me the idea, and I played around with it a bit and came up with this. And so far, so good. The guys have been trading it. And the thing is, when you get funny times happen all over the world, and you're wondering whether the bomb's going to go off or whatever, go with the momentum. And why does it work? You personally think, Musa or Marnie, that junk food is rubbish, and particularly bad is McDonald's, complete rubbish. But McDonald's is doing well. Unless you're religiously against it, you probably still buy McDonald's as a share, even though you're not going to chow its product. It's purely on momentum. If you're a strong particular Muslim or a strong, Jew, you wouldn't be going for maybe, I don't know, alcohol or things to do with pigs or something like that. That's different. But otherwise, you go with the momentum. That's just strongly, very, very against the particular product that they're dealing in. Common sense again. But that's how it works. So we'll just do it again quickly to make sure. Quiet on the trading front, probably will be going into the weekend. No afternoon session, don't forget, guys, today. Go to the daily, quick one. We've done that. Do you want to do this one? I'm going to put it down because it's one that should be done, so I'll put it down anyway. CAD, CHF. And we're going to sell this, and the market price is what? 62, 0.6662. Remember, you're selling on the bid, not the buy. And it's 50 pips above, so it'll be 6712 is your stop loss. And you don't have to go to your position size calculator. It's going to be 90 rand a micro. You can work out what volume you want to take on that. And even if you afford more, if your money's tied up and you haven't got much free margin, you'll have to probably go a bit smaller. That's your choice. That I expect you to be able to work out yourself, and no TP. You'll be either trading stop out or manually exiting. Only downside, guys, is you do need a bit more time. It needs a bit more time monitoring it. If you've got a busy schedule, you've got a bus around your neck, you're in meetings all bloody day, it might not be for you, because unless you've got your little phone handy below the meeting desk, you keep an eye on it, but then you're not concentrating on the meeting. Hello there, Musa. Do you agree with what I've just said? Said your big boss, you're eyeing for a promotion. What was that? You weren't listening. You're looking at your trades again, were you? We don't want that situation to occur. This is true. A quantity surveyor once nearly got fired on that because he got too involved with the trading that he forgot he's supposed to be paid to do a quantity surveyor's job. Quite funny that. You didn't think so, but I thought it was funny. But anyway, moving along. Right, so that you can do. I've got it down 662-712. If you like that, Ken, do it. Okay. Now, just do a quick one again. We've done that one. We'll move down the list. Go in alphabetical order. We've done these. So we've got EUR, EUP. Go to the daily. Go across here. And is it in the buy or the sell? Well, that's clearly, utterly, obviously in the buy. Ignore the black line. So if it was, let's say, here or here, it's in a neutral zone, you ignore it. So anywhere between, ignore the black, blue and brown line, anywhere between there, you ignore it. Above, you look for a buy. Then you go to 1 hour for confirmation. Below those two, you look for sell, then the 1 hour for confirmation on the red line. So let's have a look. The buy, can we do it? We want to buy this 1 hour, red line. Yes, we can, but my problem is in theory, you should have been in there. It's a little bit far away. It's 17 pips. It doesn't sound much, but on our chart, 17 pips is a fair whack. We're not on the weekly chart here, guys. I would be a bit hesitant to do that now. Number one. Number two, it's been range trade last few hours. It might come back to give you an entry on the 200-hour moving average, which is just only about 3-4 pips away. That's good enough. If it comes back there, you can enter it. 50 pips stop, no TP, and then you ride it up. And if you want to modify or trading stop or want to keep modifying, and if it comes, let's say your stop loss is down here, even after modifying, and the thing comes in the entire candle comes below that one, you'll exit anyway. Okay. And that means you haven't lost 50, you might have lost 15 or 10. Or if it comes below, it might come below that in a profit. You get the idea. All good. That's correct. You wait, you go to the 1 hour I've got in the moment for entry. And again, as simple as this Musa and company, it's common sense. Let's pretend the price is up here. Obviously, it's above. It's a buy, it's above there. But hang on a minute. You know what I mean? We want to be entering around about there. Don't be entering here. You get the idea. That's just common sense. It's like, you know, where do you want to buy? You want to buy something. Do you buy at the top or do you buy at the bottom? I don't think anyone's going to say I'll buy at the top. You know what I mean? So you look at the ceiling and you look at the floor. Where do you want to be buying? You want to buy at the floor, not the bloody ceiling. Where do you want to be selling? Not the floor, but you want to be selling the ceiling. You get the idea. Not always get the ceiling. You've got to get confirmation. But at least, you know, if you're going to put your stop loss in Pretoria, you don't want to be entering in bloody Harrismith on your way to Durban, the ship for sale. You know, Heidelberg, you can. You don't have to be in Joburg if you stop from Pretoria. Heidelberg, you probably can, but certainly not Harrismith, the ship for sale. Just a bit of common sense. If you're in Cape Town, you probably know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, you got that, Musa. Got that, Mbuso? You got that. Anybody else not got it? Anybody else not got it? Be confident. Johan, anybody else? Buckley, you've all got it. If you don't, I'll do it again, because if you like it, don't like it. Or more important, you do like it, you have got it. I'm far too busy. I'm jumping out of work now. I might get into trouble. Just come to the trade room this morning. No, you've got to have a bit of time to keep an eye. You've got to keep time to keep an eye, and you've got to get the principle. If you're still not getting the concept, I'll go through it again until you do get it. And I say, it's not the most complicated strategy the world's ever seen, so you should be able to get it fairly quickly. You know me, keep it simple, stupid. Browse by analysis. Not sure I agree with that. All good. Okay, then we'll move on. So we'll a quick check of some of the trades now. Actually, gold, what's gold doing? That's hovering. I still like a better price here. Ken, I'm agreeing with you. If you can get a better price, maybe, but yeah, we'll see. But don't sell it, it's the way up. If it's coming down, don't sell it, wait for that. Okay, a little bit of a bounce, nothing special. It's grounded just under the 101 on the DXY at the moment. That might hold, we shall see. Okay, we'll start off in order. AUDJ, oh no, don't forget yesterday's. We'll do yesterday's first. AUD NZD. We got 82. That's in profit. It's bouncing up a bit, but you got your stop protecting you, so it should be just better than break even. So if you get stopped out, at least you're not going to lose. If you don't get stopped out, you're going to make a profit. Nice position to be in. Go to EuroCAD. Is it starting to come up a bit, or is it still going down? Hovering. We've got a 15-minute one. Hovering a bit. We're starting to bounce a little bit. We might come right. It was beautiful in profit yesterday. I don't know if anyone guys took it yesterday. What if I stopped, excuse me, and got stopped out in a profit? There might be one or two guys out of this because they stopped out in a profit. Fair dues. But it's now slightly below, only about 10 pips below, but it might come up. Okay. I still think if you've got enough money, you can still go in it again. GBP CHF, that was doing pretty well last we looked. GBP CHF, still battling break below the 1.11, but you should have your stoppers at 1.1145. So you're going to make money on that, whatever. That's a winning trade. That's happy. Let's go to the days. We'll start with the EJS one. UNZD. That was a buy at 44, 20 pips in profit. This is the EJS one. That's pretty good. We just got the CAD CHF, so we'll ignore that for the time being. AUD JPY, the sell at 75. That's okay. Don't chase it now if you're not in. Please look at the signal, check it out before you chase it, because the market moves. You're not always get exactly the signal. Time you might be right, which is better, go for it. If it's the worst price, check your position size calendar, see if it's worth chasing or not. And yeah, that's obviously so sell 75. Got in 75 on the bid. That's the spread. So it's 12 pips in profit, but actually in reality it's about 16. But we have to use this one to get out, so it's okay. Right, you're doing okay on that one. AUD USD 677. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah, that's about break even. A bit slow, but the dog's trying to straighten a bit. It might come off too. It's about break even. That's okay. Happens. Only been an hour or so, so don't panic on that one. NZD-CAD was a sell as well at 84. Okay, that seems to be doing okay. Okay, I'm not shooting the lights out, but happens. I can't predict the volatility. It's about 10 pips in profits. That's okay. Euro GBP was a buy at 31. Not much, but it's in the profit. Okay, that's the main thing. It's in the profit. Okay, so they're okay. They're not shooting the lights out. It's a Friday. It's a bit quiet. But the main thing is one's even, the other's in profit. So that's okay. You've got the idea about the EJ principle now, or the momentum strategy. I'm just going to call it EJS. It's a bit of a mouthful. EJS. So the trading one that we worked out here ourselves, innovated. We're going to call the EJS. That seems easier. So and it's guys saying, all these guys got EJS doing well. They might think, hang on a minute, I want to be a part of this. Roger, what's EJS? Aha, let me explain. That's probably it. Keep the mystery, then they're going to be interested. Everyone likes to know what's going on here. Then we can explain.
Hey, mate.
Go for it, Ken.
When I look at the EJS, yeah, that strategy is as good as scalping.
Which is slightly different, because the scalping, normally what you do is a much shorter profit on a range. I can't see much of a range here to give an example. Scalping is you've done a range. So let's say you're on a 4-hour chart or something. You can do it on a 1 hour, maybe on the NAS if you get it big enough, I don't know. But 4 hour normally, 1 hour's pushing it a bit, the costs involved. You need at least about a 50 pip range, a minimum range on, let's say, a 4 hour, and then you can scalp it. Okay, that's a range trade. This is based on momentum rather than scalping. But you can call it what you like, Ken, as long as it makes you money. That's the bottom line.
Roger, question with regards to the banking results.
Oh, yes,
Any
thank you.
from your side?
Thank you. I forgot about that. Thank you. Just going to give me a second as I bring it up in front of me. In front of me now. Okay. Just a second, make sure I've got it. Top one first. Okay. Right, I'm going to read out. It's a bit confusing, some of it. I think maybe we're lost in translation. JP Morgan, one of the biggest. Share price has been making consecutive gains in the beginning of the year, with a correction taking place in early March, where the failure of banks in the US shocked the markets. That's fair enough. The company is expected to report its earnings for the fiscal quarter ending March 2023 on Friday, which is today. Okay, today. Consensus EPS, earnings per share, by the way, for the quarter is $3.43 compared to the result for the same quarter last year of 2.63. So if the earnings per share is above last year, to me, that's actually good news. Anyway, so I'm not quite sure they're driving it now. Anyway, JP Morgan took a light hit through the turmoil in the banking industry, mainly because of its big size, too big to fail area, with a dividend yield of over 3%, not too bad. So it's expected results today. So clearly that will come out later or whatever. We won't be trading. We'll have a session today. We might be waiting on shares going anyway into Monday and seeing how those pan out. So we'll see what results there, and rather not play around with the banks or anything till we get those released. And I think it could make an overall effect. If it's very dodgy on our major banks, it could affect the share market. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, so we'll just go off that one a bit. Are you with me? No more, no less on that one. There's another one here. Which one was this one? Oh, it's the lines in the bloody way, yeah. The United States non-farm payrolls data for March came roughly in the line with expectations. We know that. Blah blah blah. Your borrow rate takes. We know all that. Don't worry about that too much. That's probably been pushed into the market. It's a little bit more of JP we talked about, so forget that. What's this one here? Just go down a little bit more. Have I missed one? Yeah, I thought I missed one. Bank of America. I thought I missed one. Thank you. Okay, Bank of America, BAC. Haven't we got it yet? Just a second. Thought so. Right. Bank of America, share price is trading a slightly upward trend because the bank failures hit mainstream media and drove the share price of BAC down. That's the part that confused me. Remember now, part that confused me. Share price was trading in a slightly upward trend because the bank failures hit mainstream media and drove the share price of BAC down. Why would we be trading in an upward trend if it's pushing the share price down? Quite understandable, actually. The company expected to report its earnings in the fiscal quarter ending March on Tuesday 18th. So BAC is coming out on Tuesday. Bear that in mind. Remind me of that. So we won't be playing with the banks until we get that out of the way. But JP Morgan's happening today. Good stuff. Get that out of the way. Quicker, better. BAC is then. Okay. So that's basically it. So thanks for that. Keep me updated on it. And just watch the shares and the banks until we got it out. So we can look at shares again on Monday, but we'll be a little bit, because JP Morgan will be out of the way, but we'll just bear that in mind. And we'll also know what effect it had on the market shares if those results come out JP. Now, if the JP market results come out quite good, I'm not sure why BAC would be so terrible. We don't know. So it'll give us some indication on Monday. So we'll just hang 5 on that. Okay. Hope that's all good. Is that too quick? Was it made any sense? Bottom line is, be a little bit careful today on shares. Wait till Monday. Okay.
Thank you. No, it makes sense.
Go. Okay, just coming into a few minutes to go before we close. I'll be doing stuff, but clearly, you for as regards the trading, we're not doing this afternoon, like I mentioned. So, bottom line is, yeah. Sorry, figuring out how to do that. Bottom line is, yeah. After 2 minutes, anything you'd like to ask? Just want to, before I forget, put my number in. Some guys, I think you've all got it, but I'm just going to put it in there.
Yeah,
Please.
I've got this last one.
Okay, go for
Yeah, this one is just from curiosity. If you look at, I have two pairs here. There's NZD CAD and the Euro Canadian. In both pairs, the Canadian is the code currency. The other one is a sell and the other one is a buy. So I don't know. It looks as if I'm contradicting myself because
Not
now.
necessarily. Not necessarily. You can have a weak dollar against an incredibly weak Mexican peso, and you can have a strong dollar against a very, very strong Bahraini dinar. You get the point. But normally, but not necessarily so. Just give them again, CAD-JPY. What was it again? I missed it. What were the two? What were they?
Yes, mate, go for it.
Okay, was that the one? Okay, and you're long on this one, is that correct? Or are you short?
No, I was talking about this too. I said it's NZD CAD and Euro
NZD.
CAD.
Oh, sorry, that's what I'm
Eurocad.
saying. NZCAD will do Eurocad.
Yeah.
You're long on that one, which I'm still happy with, and see you
Yes.
coming around. And you're short the NZD CAD. Right, the euro is a stronger currency. The NZD is one of the weaker ones at the moment.
Okay.
It's a bit affiliated with the US dollar, but not that strong. I get that. The NZD, I tell you what, during COVID, it's one of the first to actually get out of COVID, it was the strongest currency of the lot. Now it's out of all 6 or 8 of them, whatever it is, of the cross of the majors, it's about 7 of them, it is anyway. It's the weakest. So I'm happy to be buying the Canadian one and selling on the other one, because it's 2 different currency strengths involved. And it's backed up by the buyers and sellers, and it's backed up with technicals. And remember, there's an enormous amount of people, especially in the retail trade, who don't really have much idea of the macroeconomic front. They just basically go on a trading technical, and that might say, I'll sell the Canada on this one and buy it on the other one. So I shouldn't panic too much on that. And it seems to be working out as we speak anyway.
Yes, mate. It's very interesting because both of them they are from 2 different parts of the world. Yeah, and obviously the euro is much higher than the NZD.
Yeah.
So I was just highlighting that fact that at some point it looks like I'm contradicting myself, but it does work out at some point. Sharp, mate. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Ken, as always. Okay, before we come to Gerard, I'll put up that support. Please, if you haven't got it already, most of them have. If you don't have the number, please don't be rude. Don't bother. You've got 20 rand balance. Can't help you. You're wasting your time. Never mind mine. Remember, it costs me time, money, and everything to deal with a person. And the guy who wants to cover me to teach them trading over 2 or 3 hours Zoom. His entire balance wouldn't cover my costs. Never mind the brokerage you make out of it. Use a bit of common sense. So if you've got 20 bucks, don't bother. If you're on please as well. If you're on a demo, people do. They've got one advice in the demo. No, they're trading the demo. We can play around with it. We don't have advice on it. But if you've got money and you want to be, have you got decent money? You want to be on my daily update group, my WhatsApp group. Just WhatsApp me on there. Let me know. It's not just to go on the group. You'll have the number as a go-to. You want to say, let's look at the, let's look at NZD CHF. I'm looking at selling it. What do you reckon? For sure. Or I'm in the NZD JPY. It's doing well. Do you think I should modify my stop? Absolutely. You don't WhatsApp me saying, look, I'm having some problem with Stock Market College. Can you do something or whatever? No, I can't. It's a separate company. Well, you need to on Stock Market College, go to Stock Market College and they'll assist you. Okay. If you've got some technical login problems or whatever, then you go to the live chat, you go into technical support. If you want to open another account or something like that, you can ask me about it. I'll say, fine. If you're battling, then you go to your account manager and they will assist you. To do with trading matters, assistance advice, then you come to me. As mentioned before, for legal purposes, to retain the FSP license, you've got to be represented and regulated with the FSCA, the SA regulatory body, before you're allowed to give advice, etc. So unless you're regulated, you can't. And that's why for trading advice, you can. It doesn't stop Joe Soap copy and pasting a trade of mine if they want to a client of theirs. But if they call up Joe Soap, who's not regulated, to say, can you advise me what to buy or sell? They shouldn't be doing it. Not allowed to be honest. I'm not going to drop a minute, but they shouldn't be doing it. Okay, so that's all of our functions. Okay. I'm not going to be petty on it. I'm supporting everyone. They're good lads. But and I certainly won't tell you I'm not going to drop a minute. But at the same time, I want to be the laws of the company's FSP license. If it's found out about them, the ombudsman gets attacked and that's put at risk. Obviously, then we've got to do something. So just bear that in mind. So then you can WhatsApp me direct. If I don't know, I'll point in the right direction and yeah, a bit of support there. Okay. Got number already, doesn't matter. Just saying. Yeah. And if you don't like us, you don't like me, you can maybe go to another broker, but for God's sake, for your sake, if you don't like me, I'll give you some good advice. Check that broker out. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of interesting, I'll be honest with you, cowboy outfits out there. I know for a fact, I will not mention names of guys who are trading who are really not supposed to be doing it. Not even the basic qualification for it. And some of the advice, and then sometimes churning for brokerage, all sorts of misdemeanors. You know, just be careful that it's a known broker, it's properly regulated, and you trust them. That's if you don't like what we're doing here. A lot of guys go and shoot off because they can open accounts with 10 Rand and etc. Well, I'd be suspicious what you can do with 10 Rand anyway. To make promises, I'd be rather surprised. Be careful at outrageous promises. Guys telling you can be, you know, top of the world with the price of a hamburger. Be a little bit careful. Okay, right, it's just coming up to 11. You've got to admit that, Pietro. I mean, it's a fact. We're not all born yesterday, and especially not massive unemployment out there, massive desperation. It's going to attract desperation and an expediency in their statements and promises, and the delivery is not always manufactured. Just be careful. Oh, your question, please. Some people close their books over the weekend, square their books, sorry, over the weekend. I don't. You can always modify your stop or whatever, or a trading stop or something like that, but I don't. I keep them going. So yeah, let them go. If you're in a fancy profit and it's a long weekend or you're a bit nervous, maybe modify your stop or even cut your position. Maybe I'll bank some and let the F run with a modified stop, but there's no reason to get out. Yeah, you're still protected. Only thing it could come back and bite if a bomb goes off. There's a nuclear bomb goes off in Ukraine from whatever, but you'll have more to worry about than your couple of pips you've lost by a sudden bounce on opening. It's bigger worries. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Okay.
Hey, mate. Gerard's got a last question here.
No, I've just answered it. That's the question it was. Well, yeah, I mean, you can put a trading stop in EJS. Maybe if you want, if it's a nice in profit, reduce your trading stop to maybe 30 pips. There you are. Or make it even 25 pips. Reduce to 25 pip stop. There you are. Good enough? Yeah. Just do a bit of thinking on the feet, minute, you know, tweak a little bit, make yourself comfortable, okay? But I'll carry them over. I'm still in, I'm protected. Why get out of it? I'm protected. So I'll let them run. Anybody new here, please? A lot of people like day trading. You might get lucky, but often they go into a few days. It depends on the market, okay? Right, okay, good enough. That's 11 o'clock. Have a great one, guys, and catch you Monday. Cheers, eh? Ciao, ciao, bambinos. Cheers. Cheers, cheers. Thanks for your comment, by the way, Pietro. Posted to the head office, and they said thanks very much that you're happy with us. Thanks for your comment. If anyone wants to put a nice compliment, not appropriate, not a negative, unless it's constructive, it's nice to hear because that's all we want. We don't want your money. You're not allowed to pay them anyway. Even if I wanted you to, not allowed. But a compliment won't do any harm once it's genuine. So it's appreciated. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you all. Enjoy the weekend.
Cheers. Thank you. Okay.